So now I am going to explain briefly about the cervical spine. So what is the structure here? So you can see, as you know very well, that there are 7 cervical vertebrae, C0, C1. C0 actually there is no C0. So that is the imaginary vertebra. So basically this is the C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 and C6 and C7. So C7 having the largest spinous process, and the second one largest is present in the C2 vertebra. So here you can see also there is a lordotic pathway in the cervical spine. So all the spine do not lie over the same level. So you have to palpate, then you have to go accordingly. Here you can see the various nerve passing through the facet joint here. This is the structure of spinal cord and this is the artery. Okay, this is the facet joint. So the angle of the facet joint in the cervical spine is over the 45 degree. So whatever you are doing over the cervical spine, that is the mobilizations or manipulation. So this plane just keep the very important role here. Okay, so this is the spinous process and this is the transverse process. You can palpate here like this. So it's up to you. So what is the target segment of the patient? The pain is over the facet joint. The pain is over the between the spinal in the central position. So if the patient is complaining the bilateral pain, then in that case you have to mobilize the spinous process. If the patient is complaining about the pain over any one side, that is left or right side, then you can localize your force over the facet joint of the desired segment. So what is the effect of traction here? Suppose you are applying traction over the cervical spine. It may be mechanical, it may be manual. So what is the basic benefit over the spinal dysfunction? So you can see here you are causing destruction of the spine. So there is decompression of the nerve, that is a nerve root which is being compressed by the bony segment. So it will help in the decompression of the nerve. Also, there are some conditions in which there is locking of the facet joint or jamming of the facet joint. So by applying manual traction, you can treat such condition also. So if there is jamming of the facet joint, you can just open the facet joint. By traction, there is also providing the more nutrition to the disc as well as to the facet joint also. There is also one structure, that is the meniscoid in the facet joint. So when you are doing the flexion movement, so there is also the movement of the meniscus of the facet joint also in the forward direction. When you are doing extension motion of the cervical spine, so there is the backward motion of the meniscoid of the facet joint. So there may be two dysfunction within the meniscoid, that is the entrapment or the extrapment. So in the entrapment dysfunction, the meniscoid is not ready to move forward. So you are trying to bend your neck, but the meniscus is not moving here. So it will cause a stuck structure in the facet joint and the patient faces difficulty in the motion and he feels the pain over the facet joint. In the extrapment dysfunction, while you have done the flexion motion, then meniscus has moved forward. But while you are doing the extension motion, then the meniscoid is not returning back to the original position. So what will happen? Your facet joint will again stuck here. The patient is not able to perform the extension motion. So how it can be clear? So traction is a very good means to treat such kind of condition, that is any pain in the spine, any muscular pain, okay, any dysfunction of the meniscus, any jamming of the facet joint. So you can treat with the help of manual traction. So what is the basic difference between mechanical and the manual traction? So in mechanical you can calculate the force, you can quantify the force, but in manual traction you can't quantify the force, but you can very well localize the segment of the spine, whatever be the affected segment. So in the mechanical traction you can't apply traction only over the one segment, that is suppose C4, C5 or C2, C3. But in case of manual traction, you can apply the segmental force, you can apply the segmental traction force over the affected area. So this is the basic difference between the mechanical and the manual traction. Okay. Now I'm going to demonstrate the technique of manual traction by applying the forearm. It means forearm traction. How you can apply for the upper cervical segment. So the basic indications are like vertigo, cervicogenic headaches, or any kind of pain or stiffness in the upper cervical spine. So for that, the position of patient will be supine lying. The position of the therapist will be he is just standing behind the head of the patient. Then the therapist have to put the upper segment of forearm below the upper cervical segment, the desired level. The forearm should be in the mid-prone position. It means you have to put the radial bone below the cervical spine over the affected segment. So this is the starting position. The patient has to, therapist has to stand over in the stance phase with slightly knee bent. Then therapist has to put his another hand over the chin of the patient. If there is lordosis of the cervical spine, the patient is advised to keep the chin in the tucked in position. इसको दबा कर रखें बाबा. Okay. Now therapist put his another hand over the chin of the patient. Keep your mouth away from the mouth of the patient to prevent any kind of airborne infection. Now both the elbow of the therapist should lie over the plinth or couch so that there should be less strain over the back of the therapist. Now what you have to do, from the forearm you have to go for alternate pronation and supination, then pronation and supination. Along with you have to just apply a traction force from the another hand. So both force should be equal and work in the same direction. So from the forearm we are applying the rotatory force, and from the another hand we are applying the translatory force. So both the forces are working at a time. So I am trying to pull the chin towards me as well as trying to force the cervical spine from the forearm. So this is the combined movement. So I am doing rotation of the forearm as well as trying to pull his chin at the same time. So this technique is very good in case of vertigo, cervicogenic headache, or any kind of pain in the upper cervical segment. So what will the benefit? It will again open the giant facet. It will again relax the muscles of the cervical spine over the back area. Again it will reduce any kind of meniscus dysfunction. Suppose there is jamming of the meniscus also in the facet joint, so that will be reduced. So the patient get ultimate benefit in the cervical spine. Some precaution you have to take that during the maneuver there must not be extension of the patient. So sometimes patient try to extend the neck, so that should be just prevented here. You have to check it out whether the patient is doing any kind of extension motion or not. Okay, so this is a very good and effective technique for the upper cervical spine.